call it Northwestern, but they do have talent. Kevin Lindley, Aiden Olmstead at that attack line. Peter Swindell in the midfield line as well. So there's talent coming back on Loyola. But one thing Matt and I will talk about throughout this game, key positions. Whether it's Spencer, whether it's the goaltender, Jacob Stover, who had made 18 saves in last year's game and were underway. Quick offense, and a shot that whistles wide from Aiden Olmstead for the Loyola Greyhounds before they can even make some substitutions. Now both teams going to the substitutions.
And that's going to be key right there for Loyola in this game, is when you lose a player like Pat Spencer, you try to create offense in new ways, and that's in transition off the face-off X. The last two times Loyola has played Virginia, they've scored multiple goals quickly off the draws.
And that's going to be something to keep a big eye on in this game, that face-off X. Bailey Savio and Petey LaSala, two of the better face-off men in the country. Greyhounds now with the first possession. There's a shot right into the stick of Alex Rode, who turns it over, though, on the attempt to clear. Physical play now on the sideline. It's picked up by the Cavs. And now Virginia and Jared Connors will look to get something going. Here's Doc Sakin. He waits for Peyton Cormier. Now number 24 with the ball at his cross. Interesting story. Redshirt freshman, injured all of last year. He takes over for Ryan Conrad.
And this is a player Virginia fans are going to love. He is an absolute tank.
Takes that shot. Now Schaefer. Sam Schaefer, who's taking over for Jacob Stover, getting involved early and fired up as he pumps his fist to that Loyola bench. Stover made 18 saves in this game last year when Loyola beat Virginia to open the season and beat them pretty good. That's obviously a key for Charlie Toomey's team, is replacing Stover in goal and Schaefer getting involved early, making the save. Aiden Olmstead is going to be the quarterback of this team. Up top. Goal line extended shot. Saved by Rode.
And this is a Virginia defense today that's starting two freshmen. So Loyola looks to capitalize on quick ball movement, make the freshmen who've never played at the college level at this pace have to realize, where am I going? What slide am I? Am I number one? Am I number two? And they're going to have a tough time adjusting. And so look at Loyola's doing a very good job here with cuts early on, skip passes, getting their hands open, making this UVA defense work.
Matt Houston now back behind the cage. Olmstead coming up, shot wide. Goaltender got a piece of that one as well. Reset the shot clock. Alex Rode back in net for Virginia. Really played his best lacrosse at the end of last year, and you could even say in championship weekend his best lacrosse.
Oh, without a question. I mean, he saved 50% on the year, but in the NCAA tournament, he was all tournament. I mean, he was out of his mind stopping the ball. I mean, think about the save he had in overtime against Duke.
Yeah. Saved the game, no question about it. Just again, part of this veteran unit for the Cavs. Got a turnover from Loyola. Now we're going to get a push in the back. It's going to stay with Virginia. It is a chilly afternoon here in Charlottesville. Sun kind of peeking out from behind the clouds, but that's something too. You know, opening game of the season for both these teams, and it's cold, so it might take a little while to kind of get warmed up and get in the rhythm.
Yeah, it was a nice day earlier when the sun was out, but it's behind the clouds now, and the wind has picked up, so it has definitely gotten chilly.
Quick pass up front, shot and score! Ian Laviano gets the first goal of the 2020 season for the Cavs.
And this is just great offense. Connors to Kraus to Laviano, doing what he does best in the interior of the offense, stepping near side, and a nice job from Kraus looking back towards the side where the dodge came. That's your natural progression as a passer, is right down that lane. So when you see it, you look there first. Laviano found the space, and then the picture-perfect pass and the great overhand release from Laviano.
Savio and LaSala. Savio now 2-0 on the draws, and he'll look again to create quick offense. The shot was off the mark, deflected before it got to the cage. Loyola backing up, they'll keep possession. Here's Lindley now to Olmstead. Back up top, Dan Wigley. Wigley didn't scrimmage with the team before the season began. Nursing a little leg injury, but getting the start today. Coming upfield. Over to Wigley. He'll take a shot. Just bounces it wide. Loyola retains. Get a quick whistle here. Working on the clock is what the officials are working on right now. Shot clock now at 60 seconds, 59 seconds. Yeah, these officials now are working to make sure the game clock and the shot clock are all in sync. Working the kinks out. Everybody's working the kinks out here early season. Lars Tiffany, national champion coach. Of course, so many great years at Brown before coming to Virginia. Building this team back up. Taking it back to the top of the lacrosse world. You know, he took over for Dom Starja 4 years ago. And he's done a remarkable job after, doing a remarkable job at Brown, getting them to championship weekend. And Charlie Toomey won a national championship with this team, the Loyola Greyhounds, back in 2012. 15th season at Loyola. All right, now we've got the clocks all synced up. Back in action. Here's Peter Swindell. Back up to Adam Patois. He's a freshman Canadian. Number 45 for Loyola. Shot wide. They are peppering Road with shots here early on.
That was a nice job by Chris Merle, the number 7, the short stick defensive player for Virginia, creating a low angle shot there. Alex Road in the cage was able to stay in his pipe and really make that a difficult shot. It's a shot you like to take, but it's also as a defensive player you don't mind giving up as well.
Wigley now with Olmstead. Wigley's going to take it behind the cage and start it from X. Olmstead quickly to the right side. Player got drilled. That's going to be a call against Virginia. Kyle Kaloji just came out and leveled the shooter for Loyola. And that was Ross Pridemore, a young man out of Atlanta. He got decked by Kaloji, and Kaloji will head to the box.
And Loyola looks sharp offensively. They are moving the ball quickly. They're finding the space in the shooting lanes to get their hands open. Virginia looks to be quick to slide, which is a little surprising to me. For a team that lost its best dodger, you think maybe defensively you would try to say, hey, someone prove that you can run by us and score.
Right.
But Loyola is taking advantage of Virginia's slide packages, and they've had a number of high-quality shots.
Minute man-up opportunity for Loyola Greyhounds. Logan Devereaux, number 21, keep an eye on him. Coach says if he gets his hands free, that guy can shoot. That's why they use him on this man-up squad for the Greyhounds. Tough angle shot. Road goes down to make the save. Olmstead couldn't beat him.
Now this is a fun part of the game, the new rule where you have to clear it in 20 seconds, particularly impactful on a man-down clear, making it very hard to get it over the midfield line. It's going to encourage these man-up teams to apply a lot of pressure on that ride.
Yeah, and the ride worked for Loyola. They get the ball back, but that clock ticking down on their man-up. Another flag coming out. This one's going to go against Virginia. Several flags. Devereaux's going to take the shot and score. Unsettled situation there, Matt, and Devereaux and the Greyhounds took advantage.
And for a team with so many unknowns, these moments are going to be key. Devereaux, just with the absolute over-the-top righty stroke to the far post. But when you have a lot of unknowns on offense, you have to score in transition in unsettled scenarios. And Loyola is generating tons of those here early in the first quarter.
Flags waved off because of the goal. We're at even strength. No, we are not. Virginia's still down, brother. The scoreboard is a little bit inoperable here today, so...
And I think this must be some form of unreleasable penalty.
Yeah, Dox Aiken now is sitting in the box. You don't have the benefit of the scoreboard. Now we do. It's a minute penalty on Aiken. So you're right, because of the goal, and he's still in the box, it's unreleasable. Savio's won both face-offs to start this game. And Loyola wins possession again. Olmsted will wait for substitutions before he attacks the net. Clock's being kept on the table, by the way, scorer's table here on the field, which is why you won't see it on your screen. Scoreboard clock and the play clock are not quite operating up to snuff, so we'll keep you up to date on what the clock says. Shot wide of the cage, battle for the end line, and it's going to go to Virginia. Big time hustle that time by Will Rock, the long stick midi, to get possession of the Cavs.
That was like picture perfect boxing out, like a basketball player there by Rock.
It is February. Now a full head of steam for Regan Quinn. Virginia looks to strike quickly, and Laviano's shot goes over the top. .25 seconds remaining in the penalty to Dox Aiken, and Matt Moore is just content to run the clock down. Back up top to Jeff Connor. Now 15 seconds remaining. Man down for the Cavs. Final 10 seconds of this penalty.
So we think.
Scoreboard isn't doing us any favors either. We're doing our best to count it down in our head. Now the penalty release, we're at full strength. The longest 10 seconds of my life. And right out of the box, Aiken tries to take the shot. It's stopped by Schaefer. Loyola looks to attack. Olmsted, quick pass. Lindley behind.
And Schaefer looking solid in the cage for the Greyhounds. A couple poor shots. This is a first career start. You may want to be a little more patient to get the better shots early on rather than build some confidence in Schaefer and cage. But he is a big body with quick hands and looks particularly sharp here.
A little 5-on-5 action here for Loyola. Olmsted, double comes. Now he gets it back. Thought about taking the shot. Knocked out nicely that time. Chris Merle causing the turnover. Ball still loose though near midfield. Knocked out of bounds. Off the stick of Laviano. That one's going to go back to the Greyhounds.
And right now, the 50-50 balls, Virginia staple from a year ago, are being won by Loyola. This team came ready to play there, scrappy. I think they have a lot to prove because people are questioning how are they going to do it with Pat Spencer, who is a generational player. And so they are trying to make a point here. Hey, we're going to win it on the 50-50 hustle plays, be strategically smart, be crisp, but we're not going to do it as an individual. We're going to do it as a team and a unit.
Olmsted with his head up. Devereaux, the goal scorer. Here's Lindley. Ball staying with the Greyhounds. Get a chance to see Evan James, another one of these freshmen. A lot of freshmen are going to get playing time for Charlie Toomey's crew.
The shot clock is having all kinds of issues as
Yeah,
well.
we're
If
having
you're
an
watching,
issue trying to follow it.
A second is about 3.
That's what these officials now are just trying to get straightened out, because the players can't. The players have no idea. The shot clock in the corner of the field here at Klockner hasn't been working all game long. It's not in sync with the game clock. The scoreboard clock in general is not operating, so all the time is going to be kept on the field.
I mean, that was 55 seconds and about 17 seconds clipped off the time or the shot clock. So.
There's 8:39 remaining in this first quarter. We know that. Shot clock is just going to have to be kept on the field. Olmsted loses it and then gets dumped. Now we'll get a call. We're going to get a push against Virginia. Loose ball push, so it'll go back to Loyola, and they'll reset the shot clock. Lars doesn't like the call, and he doesn't like the fact that he feels like the shot clock should have wound down before Olmsted even had a chance to take this shot. Olmsted, boy, he got dumped.
And the shot clock's froze on 77 right now.
Yeah, they can't use that clock. They're just going to have to go without it. Beautiful save. We'll get an in the crease violation here, but that was after Alex Rode made a great save for the Cavs.
And Rode picking up where he left off last year. Playing great position. Following the in-close shots.
Look at the movement. Teo Dahl is playing some short stick, some long stick today for this Virginia team, and did a great job on that clear. Now Virginia will settle things back in, all knotted up at 1 apiece here, just over 8 minutes to go in this first quarter. Laviano just tries to get free, cannot. Over to Peyton Cormier. This is Krause. Now finds Cormier, who scores! First career goal for Peyton Cormier from Michael Krause, and a flag on the field too as Laviano was dumped. We'll get an update on the flag when we return. Virginia takes the lead 2-1 on a beautiful feed from Krause to Cormier. Virginia won the ACC regular season last year. They won the tournament, and they won the national title, too. They just ran roughshod through the league. After a rough start, they were 2-2 overall to start the year last year.
With losses to Loyola and High Point. And so this was a team that just got better each week. And again, they got that off their back, beating Duke for the first time in what seems like a century. And then in the national championship game, they just took over and dominated a Yale team that has probably the most impactful player in the country, T.D. Irwin. But this Virginia Cavaliers team, 17-3 last year, they put on a show. If you thought the basketball team run to the national championship was impressive, this was more unlikely. I mean, the fact that they won that Maryland game, if you had the probability of winning that game like you see on the basketball, it would have been 0.
Yeah.
Like there's no
it's
chance you win.
99.8% against you. And the other thing, too, keep in mind with the Cavaliers is that, you know, in 2018, the senior class in 2018 won their first ACC game that year. That's how long it's been since they've really been even relevant in the ACC. In the space of 2 years, finally making the NCAA tournament in 2018, they were able to take that and build upon that. And even though they had the rough start last year, raising the banner as national champs today.
And they got healthier on offense, but it was the defense that really came together and started playing as a unit. When early in the season, it was a lot of individuals. And
like that guy? Starting anew? I mean, this is a situation now where you talked about the guys coming back and all the firepower Virginia has. That's Peyton Cormier's second goal in about a minute.
Virginia's offense will be better this year, mainly because of him as a player. Set the over-under at 45 points for him in his freshman year out of the midfield. He is that big a player. The coaching staff loves him. He brings a unique feature to the game in his Canadian roots and his box background, but just a very efficient shooter. He's also 220-plus pounds. I mean, he is a big boy that can move going north-south.
And Coach Tiffany says he is a natural attackman, but because they're so loaded at attack and they want to get him on the field somehow, some way, they're going to run him out of the box this year, and you're already seeing it paying dividends. 2 goals, including that man-up goal, in this unreleasable penalty against Loyola, so another opportunity for Virginia to pad this lead. Jared Connors on the field, a long pole after that faceoff. Couldn't handle the pass, but ends up in the cross of Doc Aiken. Again, the clock is malfunctioning here at Klockner, so we do not know how long Virginia has in this man up.
This is a 5-on-5 scenario here. I think there was unreleasable penalties on both teams.
You are correct. I missed the Virginia penalty after the second goal of this game. And we're not getting help from the scoreboard, so you're just going to have to bear with us. We'll tell you as best we can the time of the quarter and also the shot clock, which is both of them are malfunctioning.
The nice part about the shot clock is both these teams like to play fast, so
we don't have to worry about it too much in this game.
But it does make it challenging as an offense to kind of pick your poison and attack when you're supposed to from a timing perspective.
Michael Binkowski, number 42, another freshman playing in this game for the Virginia Cavaliers. Here's Cormier, has 2 goals already. Shot wide. Krause took it. He has 2 assists in this game, so let's make note that he's 1 assist shy of becoming a 100 assist, 100 goal guy. He would just be the 4th man in Virginia history to get to that mark. Pass is deflected. Binkowski picks it up. Now double team on Aiken. Teams are at full strength now. Moore, what a move. Couldn't get it on Cage.
When you look at this Virginia attack unit, right? When you think Penn State, you think of Ment and O'Keefe and what great compliments they are for one another. Virginia, Krause and Moore are both better dodgers for themselves than the Penn State duo, but they're both equally great, but very different.
Turnover, back to Loyola. It's Ross Pridemore, number 16. That's Lindley with the ball in his cross from X. He'll look to dodge.
Lindley being guarded by Bauer, a top 15 recruit in the country, a freshman from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia missing Kate Southstead today, their best defensive player.
Had a leg injury, nagging injury after last year, and couldn't get it to heal on its own over the summer. Opted for surgery. He'll be back shortly. He just, wasn't quite ready for this game. And Coach Lars Tiffany saying discretion, the better part of valor there to keep him out maybe 1 or 2 more games. Loyola content to take their time, work for a good shot. This is Dan Wigley on the shorty. Back to his right, double team comes. Try to get it to Lindley. Couldn't get there, and he'll stay with Loyola. Fans here and Coach Tiffany beside themselves couldn't believe that the officials wouldn't rule that a turnover, but...
And just doing some timing here, the shot clock's about 7 seconds off. So in reality, 80 seconds, it's showing it's taking about 87 for it to count down.
Greyhounds turn it over. Here come the Cavaliers. 3rd turnover of the game for Loyola. Connors, he has it knocked out of his stick nicely. Will the Greyhounds be able to counter quickly? No, they cannot. Big scrum for the ball near midfield. Greyhounds pick it up. Under 5 to play here in the first quarter.
This Loyola team is scrapping. They are riding. They're playing a lot like Virginia did and what led to a national championship last year.
Swindell fed it to Lindley, and Rode has been up to the task. He's faced a lot of rubber in this first quarter. There you see it again. Stick on the ground. The officials blew the whistle, but it's Loyola's ball.
And this is where maybe Virginia's missing Ryan Conrad right there. First team All-American from a year ago was the human clear. You get in the stick. The ball was getting on the offensive end. Today, Loyola, I love watching this. This is a lot of fun. This never say die attitude. The attackman riding the ball back. They've gotten 3 or 4 extra possessions here in the first quarter.
Olmstead coming up field. He'll shoot wide. Pottsville, the freshman, will back it up.
And they keep getting extra possessions. Some of these will start finding the back of the net. I mean, right now, Virginia's up 3-1, but it feels like Loyola's had the ball for 70% of this first quarter.
And Virginia's going to call a timeout right now to talk things over. 4:03 left in this first quarter. 3-1, Cavaliers on top. Tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on the ACC Network and over on that ESPN app, we'll bring you 1186 to Omaha, our documentary about the 2015 Virginia baseball team. After losing to Vanderbilt in Game 3 of the 2014 finals, the team made it their mission to make the 1,186-mile trip back to Omaha and finish the job in 2015. It's a documentary narrated by Carl Ravitch. Make sure you check it out. Baseball team, we noticed a baseball team stadium right behind us. And they must have a scrimmage over there. It's cold. It's early February, but they're playing baseball. They're playing lacrosse. They're raising banners, the national championship banner from last year's team here in Charlottesville. Dave Smith and Ryan Conrad helping him hoist the banner. Dave Smith on the right. You know, I talked to Coach Lars Tiffany about losing glue guys. You know, you have all your stars coming back, with the exception of Conrad, really. But at every level, you got superstars back. But then you have a guy like Dave Smith, who's a vocal leader on this team, and a guy who played his best lacrosse championship weekend last year, too. But those are the kinds of guys you need on championship teams, too. And those are guys that are sometimes harder to replace than you can imagine. And he said that. He said, I thought it would be difficult, but it's been more difficult than he thought it would be.
And particularly the defensive side of things. We mentioned, look, this Virginia team, every game got better as the season progressed defensively, mainly because of Conrad and Dave Smith. They were the vocal captains of that defense, and when you lose that, that's tough to replace.
And it puts the onus on a guy like John Fox, who's one of the captains of this Virginia team coming back from that, a short stick defensive midfielder. And Tiffany said he's salty. He's the top captain. Of all the captains, he's the captain of the captains. And everybody leans on him now, especially with the guys like Dave Smith and Jama and the other guys they lost from that rope unit.
And right now, Alex Rode with 8 saves in the first quarter. Standing on his head. Yeah. Again, I think Virginia's done a nice job forcing low-quality shots from the Greyhounds, but Rode has also stolen a few that should have been in the back of the cage. No goals in 7 minutes. And look, Virginia's going to need to flip something here to get more possession, because you can only withstand so much as a goalkeeper.
Evan James now working upfield. Over to Olmstead. That's Devereaux. Scored the lone goal for Loyola. Olmstead takes a shot right into the midsection of Alex Rode.
And that's right there an example of one of the low-angle shots that you have to avoid. You get your hands free. It doesn't mean you need to take the shot.
Logi looking to clear for the Cavaliers. He does. Now he look to hand it off. Here's Michael Kraus. Over to Jeff Connor. Here's Jack Simmons now as Tiffany goes to some of his midfielders down the line. You saw Peyton Cormier on the field now with Simmons. Moore. He'll look to get free. Back to his left, now to his right against Sly Tumpf, and he scores anyways.
And I remember watching film of Mount Moore when he was a sophomore in high school, when he was the #1 rated sophomore in the country, and his patience is what stood out to me. You don't see that very often, but look at him here. He dodges. Is the opportunity there? No, he just always figures he has a little bit more time And he's the master of the dodge and then re-dodge to get his hands free. The nice wraparound shot there. He uses a Loyola defenseman as a screen and blasts it to the far post.
46 goals last year, 43 assists. Petey LaSala now gets into the win column on the face-off circle. Substitutions.
Virginia should have an opportunity out of the box in the substitution game.
Here's Regan Quinn. Nobody picks him up. Back over to Aiken. Bounce shot. Saved by Schaefer.
And what a save by Schaefer. I mean, that's Dox Aiken, probably the best range shooter in college lacrosse. Bouncing it far enough out where it actually went low to high. And Schaefer does a nice job with his body blocking that. Very impressive.
Schaefer, big, 6'3", 235-pound junior in net. Shot. Oh, wow, that was close. 3/4 length of the field shot. And Rode had to dive back, although it did whistle wide of the net. And it was enough for Loyola to keep possession. That's interesting with that 20-second shot clock. You have to get it past midfield. You see a lot of those long-distance shots.
Well, especially for a Virginia team that does kind of this modified 10-man ride where they bring Rode out of the cage and they then take an offensive plan and bump him forward.
A great outlet by Rode. As Chris Merle was trying to generate some quick offense, but it ends up being a turnover. Now we get a whistle. We get a push against Loyola. It's going to go to Virginia. Rode with yet another save.
Rode was a revelation towards the end of last year. I mean, he was the #1 rated goalie coming into his freshman year here in Virginia. And he struggled. He started, but he struggled. And as the year got better, or as the year went on, he got better and better.
Krause now up top, off the outside of the cage. Schaefer now will look to outlet quickly. Minute and a half left in this first quarter. Danny Parker. Matt Higgins, rather, I should say, for Loyola. Inching down to the final minute of this first quarter. Loyola keeps possession. Good look at Alex Rode. He's certainly been a star for this Virginia team in this first quarter.
He's on pace for 40 saves.
Cavaliers are riding Rode. Sorry. A 10-minute scoring drought for the Greyhounds.
Which is impressive in its own right, but the fact that Loyola's had the ball for the majority of the time speaks to Alex Rode and how well he is seeing the ball here in his first game of 2020.
Aiden Olmstead looking to generate offense from X. A stick to the head, no call, and a save by Rode. Final minute of this first quarter. And scoreboard malfunctioning, time is being kept on the field. Kyle Kaloji looking for help, finds it in the form of lead. 15 seconds left in the quarter.
This is where it's tough as an offense. You don't know that the quarter is ending.
Offside penalty against Virginia, so final couple of seconds here. Louisville, the Loyola. ACC Network is your home for lacrosse in the ACC, the premier lacrosse conference in America. Got games galore. You know, in previous years, Matt, and you and I certainly been doing this for a few years, game or two in February on ESPNU and get into March. Now with the ACC network, this is the best thing that's ever happened to lacrosse fans. February 1st. We got 2 games on February 1st. We've got at least 2 games pretty much the rest of the way, all the way through February and March, which is more than we've ever had, and more than we've ever been able to bring you in college lacrosse in the ACC conference. So,
and they picked a great year for it because this is as deep as the ACC is. I mean, look, the ACC has always been kind of known as the lacrosse conference, right? But the last couple years, Big Ten been great, maybe the deepest. But this year, the ACC, every single team, right? To me, Duke may be the team that needs to figure out the most, just based on early and what I saw in terms of their offense and do they have that alpha male that can run by someone and score. But UNC, I'm telling you, is going to be great. Syracuse is deep. Virginia, Notre Dame, you know what you're getting. So this is a great conference this year.
Start of the second quarter, 4-1 Virginia on top. Savio and LaSalle. We've seen a good battle at the X as we anticipated. Loyola gets possession initially, but then loses it. Moore in there battling for it. We'll get a whistle. And a legal push for the loose ball that'll give possession to Virginia. Again, just a reminder, clock is inoperable on the scoreboard here, both game clock and shot clock, so they're being kept on the field, and we'll do our best to relay that information to you. That's why you don't see it there on the graphic on the bottom of the screen. Double pass, maybe ill-advised.
This is a new wrinkle for Virginia.
Flag on the field. Seen a lot of laundry early on in this game. Possession by Laviano, but this call is going to go against Virginia. Lars Tiffany looking for an explanation.
This will be, in my opinion, a soft penalty here. I think the ref may have been out of position and saw someone on the ground and threw the flag without really seeing what happens. We'll take a look.
A 1 minute cross check call going against Dox Aiken.
So 1 minute unreleasable. Let's take a look.
Couldn't quite see it from that angle.
That's the second penalty from Aiken behind the play, though. So whether it was a penalty or not, you have to be smart about when you're playing aggressive. The ball wasn't really in the vicinity for that penalty to take place. And so now you're man down for a minute unreleasable, which can, look, be a 2-goal swing real quick.
There's 1 goal right there. There's a good look at Adam Patra. Young Canadian from Hill Academy, the freshman, getting his first goal as a member of the Loyola Greyhounds.
And the subtle play there is Patra. Watch these 2 steps he takes up the field. That may not seem like much, but if you look at his ball placement and where he put that shot and where he located it, it was all made available because of those 2 extra steps up the field. It's the small things that make great shooters.
And that penalty to Aiken is unreleasable, so Loyola gets 1 back. Will they get another one? They're going to have a harder time here, though, because of the face-off violation against Savio. So Virginia will look to burn the rest of that penalty time off on Aiken.
And that's just a big mistake on a man-up where you have 1 extra person. You don't need to win the clean. All you got to do is prevent the other team from popping it forward. So prevent LaSalle from pushing it forward. Let the wings get involved, and you're going to come up with the ball. Four straight face-offs now for the Cavaliers.
You know, LaSalle's kind of starting to take over a little bit there when Billy Savio got the better of him the first couple of them. Penalty released, even strength. So the Cavaliers gave up 1 goal. Situation. Cormier. And Schaefer got a piece of that. We'll stay with the Virginia Cavaliers.
And that was nice offense. Peter Garneau, the freshman from Haverford, number 33, dodging down the wing, drawing the slide. The skip pass to Laviano, the one more to Peyton Cormier. Tic-tac-toe passing for the Cavaliers.
Jeff Connor. Screen. Here comes Garneau, and he scores. His first goal as a Cavalier.
Garneau, a big-time recruit, known as an outside shooter. That right there is what he is known for. He is a stretch shooter. The question is he athletic enough to dodge and win the one-on-one situations? And that possession, you saw the best of both worlds. The outside shot there for the goal. But the opportunity right before, he started with his dodging against a short stick. Virginia throwing all kinds of youth out on the offensive side of the field. 3 goals for freshmen here in the first half.
12:24 remaining here in the first half. You're right, Cormier with a couple of goals. Garneau now picking one up. Ball straight up in the air. LaSalle wins another one. That's 5 in a row for Petey LaSalle.
Some high heat from the faceoff man.
He scored 8 goals last year, man.
Look, in the national championship game against TD Erlin won the majority of them, but he scored a number of goals at huge moments. I mean, he had an incredible freshman year. And what I like about him is some faceoff men have their one move and they stick to it, and they're winning. They can kind of he learns.
Yeah.
He's always evaluating what he needs to do and what's going to work against the particular matchup.
Aiken. Beautiful feed down low to Moore, and he finishes.
And that, to me, you kind of think, what can Dox Aiken work on as an offensive player? Look, he already has the most goals ever for any midi in the history of this Cavaliers program through his junior season. He's struggled as a passer. He is not known as someone who keeps his head up and can throw those skip passes, but right there, his senior year, he makes that first pass. Watch the lane open up. You see Moore show to the near side of the screen and wrap it around Schaefer for his second goal of the season.
LaSalle wins the rake. Trouse is almost there to pick up the loose ball. Still loose. Connors had it briefly. Just shovels it over to Laviano. And 6 in a row now for Virginia. They're really starting to take over that face-off X.
And face-offs are always incredibly impactful in the game of lacrosse. But today for this Loyola team, even more so, just because they have so much unknown on offense. Look, most teams lose great players every year. Pat Spencer was incredible. I mean, what he was able to do over 4 years, the most assists in college lacrosse history, second in points. I mean, it was so fun to watch him play, but this Loyola team's got to learn who's going to be that person for them to take up that crown.
Moore scores. He made that look easy. Largest lead for Virginia here. We're just about 10 minutes left in this second quarter, man.
And just look at the spacing and the location of where he does his dodge to get that high. And look, there's no one near him from Virginia, so Loyola has no one who can slide adjacent to put double team pressure on Matt Moore. And if you leave him on an island, he's just too strong and too smart and too well balanced as a dodger. You're going to be in a very tough spot, and he gets his hat trick here in the first half.
Loyola needs Bailey Savio here. Stem the tide, and he does, winning this faceoff. Here's Ryan McNulty. He's not afraid to mix it up offensively. One of the best long stick middies in the country. He'll come off as both coaches now make their substitutions.
If you're Loyola here, you look though, I mean, 10 saves for Road in the first half, really in the first quarter. So you're getting the opportunities, no need to panic. Face-offs come in spurts. Keep doing what you're doing.
Looking to get free from X. Slide comes. Had no shot. Watch Danny Parker. This guy can fly. Moore once again.
And this is where Virginia is so good in the substitution game and the slow break.
Now Doc's taking will wait. Wait it out. Regan Quinn on the field now for Virginia. Number 19. Second line midfielder.
And Virginia's going to have an opportunity here again in the substitution game.
And a great move and goal by Regan Quinn.
What may be hard to see is Chris Merle, number 7 for Virginia. The defensive midi stayed on offense, and they were playing 5-on-5, and then they substituted through the box, and now they're going to have a 6-on-5 advantage, and just too much chaos for Loyola on defense. 4-0 run for the Virginia Cavaliers.
Timeout on the field. We'll take it with him. Quinn's first of the year. Virginia hot on offense. Largest lead of the game. Virginia on top. Matt Moore, a big reason he's got the hat trick already.
Yeah, and just kind of doing it in all different ways. Right there, the nice move, getting his hands free, off ball for a second of the game. And then just right here, look at the isolation dodge, the nice stick work, protects it with his shoulder, flips it to the far corner. 10th career hat trick. He had 89 points in his sophomore year as his first year of starting attacking. He was a midfielder. Right, and so he's only going to get better. The learning curve for him was pretty darn quick. It's going to keep going in an exponential direction.
Violation against, this time, Petey LaSala, and Loyola will take over. Largest lead of the game, 6 goals for Virginia. Another timeout. This time, Charlie Toomey and Loyola taking the timeout to talk things over now that they've got possession. There's a good look at Charlie Toomey. 2020 is Clemson's inaugural D1 softball season. Will have their first ever home game Wednesday when they square off against Western Carolina in a doubleheader starting at 2:30. Both games, Clemson and Western Carolina, right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. Good to see Clemson getting involved in softball. Inside Lacrosse media poll, the top 10. 5 ACC teams in the top 10. North Carolina opening up the season in good shape last weekend against Colgate. Colgate just gluttons for punishment, losing to North Carolina last weekend, and then Syracuse. They had, a 21 spot put on them last night in the Carrier Dome. Chase Scanlon with 7 goals in Syracuse's win.
If you just look at college lacrosse in general, though, this year is loaded. I mean, if you look at the top 4 teams from last year, taking Duke out, substituting Maryland graduated nothing, and they were seconds away from beating Virginia, and quite clearly should have beaten Virginia. And then Penn State, being ranked number 1 ahead of this Virginia team that won the national championship, that didn't graduate much, speaks to how good they are. I mean, that offense, as good as college lacrosse has really ever seen. I mean, if you look at what they bring to the table and how they can beat you in so many ways, truly impressive.
And you talked about Syracuse earlier in the broadcast, and teams like Ohio State are improved as well. Out of the Big Ten, the Ivy's still going to be really strong. Yale, still strong. Penn is going to be good. Cornell is going to be good.
I mean, Cornell could shock some people if they figure things out defensively. I mean, Jeff Teat, 3rd-team preseason All-American, starts on Team Canada, in the World Team. So I mean, a starting world team participant on Canada is a third-team All-American. That's how good a preseason college lacrosse is this year.
Coming out of a timeout, that possession for Loyola ends up in a turnover.
Yeah, possessions are starting to become more and more important.
That cannot make Charlie Toomey pleased at all, especially when you're down 6 and you really have a big possession to try and dig into it. Now out of the box. Here comes Garno. He has a goal already today. Tried to shoot with the left and just deflected at the last moment. It'll stay with Virginia.
That's the moment in the film room where the coach just puts that one on replay to kind of put the freshman in his place a little bit.
Coach Tiffany was having a word with this young man coming off the field, and a lot of newcomers playing really well today for Virginia. That pass gets away from Moore, but he'll track it down. Krause keeps possession for Virginia. Got the shorty on him. Now back to Moore.
Cormier is going to be open here.
You were right about it. Here's Garno. That deflects off. Looked like a teammate in front. That may have gotten Krause. Virginia keeps possession halfway through this second quarter.
And Loyola looks to have switched to a zone defense here.
Moore will look to pass inside. And it just gets deflected in traffic.
And that's a good move early in the season. Typically, you don't have a lot of zone offense built into the system this early on as Loyola pushes in transition.
McNulty couldn't quite find the handle. He's going to be open for a shot. We'll get a whistle. Loose ball push. It'll stay with Loyola. Again, we apologize for the clock being inoperable. We'll try and keep you up to date as best as we can on the game clock and the shot clock. Both are out here at Klockner. As Loyola tries to get back into this game. Virginia's been on a run. Patra. Oh, boy, that got deflected and almost got over Rhodes Cross and in. Whistling shot. Wide of the cage. Now McNulty couldn't quite sky up high enough to pick that one up. Virginia does, but they're in a little bit of trouble here.
That's a nice job by Fox. The D-midi feeling the pressure, rolling to the interior of the field. Virginia's going to have to find that person this season with the loss of Conrad. He created so much transition offense for the Cavaliers. Who's going to be that person? Because the offense and the tempo that they want to play at, that is a mandatory piece. And right now, I think that's the biggest question mark for them, plus some of the new additions on the defensive side.
There's Quinn. Scored a goal earlier in this game. Moore.
Back into the zone defense for Loyola.
Krause just whistled that one over the top.
This is a Virginia team that later in the season you're not going to throw zone at them. There's just too much talent, and the skill level is too high. But early in the season, I think it's a great move actually for the Greyhounds.
Penkowski, the freshman, scores.
As I say that, a miscommunication, and the freshman nets his first goal of his career.
We've been saying that a lot today, haven't we?
Talk about a team, and we've been over and over how much of this offense returned, but it's the freshmen making a name for themselves. Penkowski from Islip on Long Island, shaking hands for his first career goal.
Laviano on the assist. Sobiankowski has a goal. Garno has a goal. Cormier, the redshirt freshman, has 2 goals. Welcome to Virginia Lacrosse, gentlemen. Cavaliers on a 5-0 run to really wrestle control of this game from Loyola. And if the Greyhounds want to get back into it, Savio's going to have to win a bunch of draws, and P. LaSala wins this one. Connors now.
He can stretch it.
Opts to pass it. Great catch by Laviano. just over to the top. Laviano shaking up a little bit. He may have gotten a little Charlie horse over on the far side. Keep an eye on number 3. Looks all right. Here's Cormier. Couple of goals for the Canadian. Redshirt freshman. Garneau. Ball in his cross. He had one earlier. Jeff Connor. Laviano fire this one. Nice save by Schaefer. 4:40 left in this first half. Beautiful pass. Lindley just couldn't get enough on it. Greyhounds backing it up. They'll keep possession.
And Lindley scored 60-plus goals last year. But right there, nice defense by number 25, Scott Bauer, the freshman from Texas. In transition, holding his own against one of the best in the country and putting the ball in the back of the net.
2 freshman close defenders playing for the Cavs today. Scott Bauer, Quentin Matsui.
From Texas and Minnesota. I mean, it speaks to the growth of the game. Talent is everywhere.
Cade Sauce that it isn't playing because of injury today, also from Texas, so you think about that. Coming to the defending national champs. Kamish. Just haven't got many easy looks. Loyola hasn't in this first half. They've had to work for everything they've gotten. One of their 2 goals was a man up. Shot clock now under 20. Olmsted will roll. Hits Lindley behind the cage. Road coming out. We're going to push against Road. It'll stay with Loyola. They'll reset the shot clock.
I'm not sure how fair I think it is with no shot clock for the rule to be that we yell out every 10 seconds. I mean, that virtually makes it impossible as an offense.
Chance here. Road has just been solid all game long.
He's playing with a new stick today. He went back to the deeper pocket and talking with goalie coach Kip Turner as Virginia's on the doorstep.
Pings it off the post.
But talking with Coach Kip Turner, he said that was the difference maker last year, that he changed sticks to a deeper pocket where he was controlling and catching many more of the shots than he had been early in the season when he had been giving up a lot of rebounds.
Ten minutes without a goal for the Greyhounds.
Second time today that they've had a 10-minute drought.
Here's Olmsted looking on Kaloji, trying to beat him. Lindley had a hard time grabbing that pass. He did. He was skillful enough to do that, but couldn't get anything on his shot.
You have Dox Aiken up here in transition.
Moore looked for Aiken, couldn't find him. Now he'll just settle back and allow the substitutions to come in. Now Aiken over to Cormier.
And this is a new offensive wrinkle here. It's a 2-man game with Krause and Cormier.
Cormier tried to force a pass through traffic, didn't get through.
That's his second or third turnover today, so the freshman, while he has 2 goals, those kind of cancel each other out. Maybe be a little bit more patient. I know he's excited to get in the game after he's been waiting for a year with his red shirt.
Lindley will have all kinds of space, and Road makes the save. Had a quick start. Now the officials will blow the whistle. Timeout on the field. Alex Road, we talk about all the offensive firepower that's back for Virginia, man. He has been solid in goal. Spectacular.
13 saves in the first half. Again, playing his angles really well. He's giving up no rebounds. Right there, I mean, again, catching the ball from that end close. Easier said than done. Again, he was NCAA All-Tournament team last year, a national champion. but a question mark Kinley going into the season. Right now, this year, Virginia's got to look at their goalkeeper as a strength rather than a question mark.
Wasn't the starter. Remember the beginning of last year? Tiffany was kind of flip-flopping on Birkinshaw and on road, trying to figure out who was going to be the starter. And in that game, the opener last year, when they got beat by Loyola, Stover, the All-American goaltender for Loyola, makes 18 saves, many of them in the second quarter of that game, to really, tip the balance in favor of the Greyhounds. And we're sort of getting a mirror performance of that here today, but this time it's Rode, not Stover, who's making the saves.
Well, I mean, last year against Princeton, he got benched. Birkinshaw, the freshman last year, came and had 20-plus saves. But then the next week, Rode was so good in cage, in practice, that they went back to him.
Yeah.
And he played well against Syracuse, and he won that starting spot from that moment moving forward. And it's amazing how far confidence goes, particularly in the cage.
He certainly has it today. 13 saves. We're still about 1:40 from the half. And I say that because the scoreboard clock is out here at Klockner. 1:07 left in the first half. That's about 1:40. Rounding down. Shot clock is also out. So you're in the dark at home. We're in the dark here at Klockner. We're loving the fact that we've got lacrosse in February. A little chilly weather causes the scoreboard to malfunction. We'll take that.
We know it's in the second quarter, right?
Yeah, second quarter. Now under a minute left to play here in this first half. Can Loyola generate some offense to at least get a little momentum going into the half?
This is a freshman-on-freshman matchup here. Joey Kamish from Detroit, Michigan. The Michigan Player of the Year. Matched up.
Using a pick from Patra. Shot sails over the top. 20 seconds in this first half. Patra now will put it in play. Lindley's open in front, and he scores. Mistake here defensively.
It was just a communication error for the Cavaliers, but also a nice job from Lindley. Again, this is what he did so well last year. Just off ball, the near side sneak, poor communication from the Cavaliers, and Lindley, a nice job to the far post. The junior from Connecticut was third in the country last year with 3.5 goals a game. Set the school record with 60. Again, this is going to be I think a trying, tough year for him because he is missing the person that got him the ball.
LaSalle's got a few seconds, going to get a shot off. He does, but Schaefer is there to close the door, and that'll do it for the first half. Tied early, Cavs went on a run. Loyola gets one back right before the end of that first half, and when all is said and done, 9-3, Virginia, the defending national champ, just couldn't cash in.
Some of those shots are a little misleading. 28's a lot of shots, but I don't know how many of them were high quality compared to Virginia's high quality shots. I would have challenged them on the face-off piece and said, look, I think they would have had to be closer to 65, almost 70% to really feel comfortable with where they would be at in this game, just because they have so many new faces on the offensive end.
McNulty battling for this loose ball off the opening face-off here in the second half, and Aiken picks it up. Laviano. Krause fired it wide. Just got a piece of it, though, Schaefer did, so we'll get a shot clock reset. And we have, as you see on the right side of your graphic here on the bottom of the screen, the game clock is back functioning, so folks here at Klockner went to work at the half. We got a shot clock, we got a game clock. Let's hope it stays that way.
And again, Loyola falling to the zone defense.
Aiken shot. Almost hit his teammate Matt Moore. Just backing it up. Moore with a hat trick in the first half. Connor back to Laviano. Moore behind the cage. Here's Krause. Aiken back to Krause. Again high.
24 seconds here on the shot clock. Akita, zone offense. And what happens oftentimes is teams forget to dodge. You have to force the issue and put pressure on the defensive player if you want to generate high-quality shots. And Virginia got a few there, but Loyola doing a nice job keeping them out of the interior of that zone defense.
Ultimately, Schaefer making the save will go the other way.
An opportunity to push here in transition.
Alex Johnson with the clear. Chance and a score! Lindley scored at the end of the first half. He scores first here in the second. And so back-to-back goals for the Greyhounds.
And just a nice job in transition. The nice save from Schaefer, the quick outlet pass, and then again, Lindley here. What you see again is that step up the field makes all the difference, getting his second goal of the game in transition. 2 in a row for the Greyhounds.
LaSalle's going to get the call against him here on the face-off X. Can Loyola dig even further into this deficit? Middleton. He'll shoot, and Rode is there to make the save. Coming out of his cage. Trying to get it to Fox. He did temporarily, but now back to Loyola. Here's Dan Wigley, the junior from New Jersey, to Olmsted. Back up top. Rode is there to save off Lindley's cross. And he's out of his cage behind, trying to pick up the loose ball. Virginia and Kaloji now will look to clear. They're taken out of the box.
Rode with 3 quick saves here in the third quarter. Big saves, I mean, killing some of the momentum that Loyola was trying to build off 2 straight goals. His positioning has been phenomenal today. He's been in the right place at the right time, holding his posts, giving very little net to shoot for. Scrappy, too. He's been out of the cage 4 or 5 times.
Coming upfield. Well, Regan Smith had a notion. Instead up top to Laviano. One move and a score.
That is great zone offense from the Cavaliers. Again, a nice job. See, again, Quinn now dodging, finds the space, and a left-handed goal for Laviano. You do not see that often. But again, Quinn catches it on the far side, comes near side. The passing lane opens up because how hard he attacks that near side. Loyola has to step down. And then Laviano with a nice patient finish.
Back to a 6-goal cushion for Virginia. LaSalle scoops it to himself.
Schwenk.
That's Schwenk, Justin Schwenk. At the dot. Loses it out of bounds to Loyola.
And Virginia has some depth at the face-off X this year. Schwenk, 2 years ago, broke the record for ground balls for the ACC. And then LaSalle comes in the next year. And so they have 2 high-quality face-off men, which is very important because if a matchup's not going your way, you can change things up.
And face-off men just get the heck beat out of them all season long anyways. By the time you get to the latter part of the season, everything hurts. Olmsted working on Kaloji. Tried to get it to Lindley. They missed fire. Stays with the Greyhounds.
Just way too many low-angle shots, though, from Loyola. Olmsted may have not even been above the cage when he was taking that shot. They have to do a better job. They've only had success as they've been stepping up the field to create their angles.
Kamish, freshman from Michigan. Over to Liam Bateman. That time it was Matt Houston, another freshman, taking a shot. Not even close to being on target, but Loyola keeps.
Just another job by Virginia, forcing him to low-angle shots, though.
Under 10 to shoot, you think. Kamish. He's going to have to let it go, and he doesn't. Shot clock violation against Loyola. 8 turnover for the Greyhounds on the day. And just a reminder, if you're just tuning in, we had the scoreboard clock and the shot clock were inoperable in the first half. We think we've got it all figured out, though, here in the second. Virginia will look for quick offense. Laviano, skip pass, deflected beautifully, and just stolen out of the air by McNulty. And he'll look to push. Lindley got knocked off his feet, spin around, and they'll lose possession to Virginia.
And I don't mind, I mean, not a great outcome for Lindley there. Taken with the ground ball. But really, their only results in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net have come in transition. And so they're going to have to force the issue and try to take those chances, because on the 6-on-6, Virginia's just been a little too much athletically for them to handle.
There's Cormier, a couple of goals, his first 2 goals as a Virginia Cavalier. The redshirt freshman, hurt last year. Taking over on that top midfield spot. Loses his footing, but scores!
Cormier with the hat trick in his first game. He committed to Virginia when he was 6 years old. Actually, I think he was in 7th grade.
6 years old.
He was the earliest commit, I think, ever during that period of college lacrosse. Good thing he grew. He is now a tank, over 6 feet tall, over 210 pounds. And then the skill here, you see the box fake, falls to the ground, and then the wrap-around shots. They absolutely love him here in Charlottesville and are excited to see what he can bring to the table on this offensive dynamo for the Cavaliers.
Hat trick for the Canadian. The lead is now 7. Largest lead of the game. Savio wins it to himself. Kamish. Now we'll set things up for the Greyhounds. Over to Dan Wigley. That's Peter Swindell.
Good offense here from Loyola. He's got up the step down. But that's what they're looking for. That is a staple offensive set for Coach Van Arsdale, the offensive coordinator for Loyola. The drive down the one side, pop near side, bang it through X with a step down shooter.
Lindley tracks down the loose ball. Patra. Kamish scores. Nope, that's Swindell. Peter Swindell, the senior from New Canaan, Connecticut, gets on the board for the Greyhounds.
A nice offensive set all around with high-quality shots, ending with Swindell with the picture-perfect form on the far side. You can see it here. Just look at the release point. He's going to follow and step up to the far post. Loyola gets within 6.
Last year's Tuart Trophy winner Pat Spencer now playing basketball for Northwestern. Certainly Loyola is going to miss him this year. You just can't replace a guy like that. But they do have Kevin Lindley, who's now 1 goal away from career 100.
And Lindley and Spencer was a dynamic duo, 60 goals last year, and they just played so well off one another. Lindley now wearing number 7. He's going to have to transition his game a little bit to try to be a little bit more like Pat Spencer with the ball in his stick, making things happen. It's going to take him a little time. I mean, last year he was predominantly off ball, and that's a pretty tough transition. And so he's going to have to become a little bit more assertive in his game than he has been for his first 2 years on this Loyola Greyhounds team.
Petey LaSala back at the face-off X. He and Savio continuing their battle. Possession won by Virginia and Jared Connors.
And Virginia is starting to dominate in the ground ball category. 31 ground balls to 19. The Cavaliers have been the #1 ground ball team in the country 3 years in a row. And with this offensive talent, if they can do that again, that bodes well for them in being able to try to repeat for the first time in program history.
Connors just rushed on that pass, wasn't able to get anything on it. That's going to be ruled a shot. Loyola keeps possession. Lead is 6 for Virginia. They led by 6 at the half. Both teams trading goals here in this third quarter. James getting hacked. Keeps the ball, though. Spinning. Here goes Lindley. Head up, couldn't find a cutter. Kamish fires that one into the net, backing up the field. It'll stay with Loyola. Olmstead scores.
Olmstead, the best dodger from the attack position on this Loyola team, matched up against Matsui. And for the first time in this game, I saw him get to full speed on his dodge. Attacking north-south, and right there he does a nice job against Matsui with the stutter step. He gets near side, gets Rode to come off that near pipe with a high-to-high finish to get his first of the season.
Ball's still loose. Players still battling for it. Yeah, we're going to get pushed in the back here, and with possession, too. Looked like Danny Parker, just as Loyola was able to gain possession. Now we're going to wave it off.
Say it was a loose ball.
Yeah, loose ball. It looked like just as Loyola gained possession, Danny Parker had a push in the back, but they're going to say it was before possession, so Loyola will have possession now. So in a way, that's a break for Virginia, but Loyola now with possession still able to dig into this 5-goal deficit. Wheatley will put it in play with Connors on him. Swindello scored moments ago. Now we get a flag. This one is going to go against Virginia. Ball is loose. Loyola keeps possession. Patra. Saved by Rode.
This is going to be an interference call on Kaloji. Good call from the officials. Is we listening?
Kaloji will sit in the box for a minute. Be an unnecessary roughness call against Kaloji.
Trying to run through the off-ball screen. He got his hands up high.
Loyola scored a man-up goal in that first half. One here would be huge. As we tick down to about 5 minutes left to go in this third quarter. Lindley. Quick shot. Stays with Loyola. Here's Olmsted. Olmsted behind the back. Now a skip pass over to Devereaux. He'll shoot and score. That's number 2 on the day for Devereaux.
Very similar shot from his first goal, but this all starts just a nice ball movement here. The behind the back from Olmsted, the skip pass through, the one more, and then Devereaux, high overhand release. The difference in this shot is he bounced it a little further out and elevated the ball over Rhodes' stick versus his goal earlier where he shot it towards the net in the air. Very nice outlooking outside shooter. A 3-0 run here for Loyola, 11-7.
Big 6'5" midfielder out of Marietta, Georgia. Logan Devereaux gets the Greyhounds now to within 4 and possession after the hold on the faceoff. Little momentum here for Loyola in the second half.
Gavin Tighe for Virginia taking the last couple faceoffs. That's now 2 violations. One more. Virginia will be man down again.
That shot by Kamish. Wide. Backed up by Riley Cox. First time we've seen Riley Cox today. Midfielder for the Greyhounds. Riley C is in the game as well. Number 42. Here's Cox. He's being ridden hard by Connors. Olmsted. Just flew that one just gently into the cross of Alex Road. Easiest save he's made all day.
He was looking for the interior pass there, but it was a nice job by Koloji with the stick check, but also a nice job from Virginia matching up on the interior to shut down the Greyhounds' offensive players.
Now Virginia, for the first time in a while on the offensive end here, Matt, they've got to regain a little bit of this momentum. They still have that 4-goal cushion. They can get away from you in a hurry. Laviano just slowing things down. Substitutions coming for Coach Tiffany's crew. Laviano not fooling anybody. And he steps in the crease.
That is a not top 10 moment right there. That's not momentum right there.
No,
that is not momentum.
That's what he's going to want to forget.
I can't forget that, though. That was amazing.
He didn't fool anybody. He thought, this isn't working out the way I planned. I'll just step in the crease. However, they get the ball right back after an unforced error. Moore off of Schaefer. Now we get a late flag coming in, too, from all the way at midfield. One-minute call against Loyola with an illegal body check.
And so I see that's a great call there on that. But I guess my question is, how is that not an unreleasable penalty when some earlier in the game have been? I think the unreleasable penalty versus something needs to change there, because it puts way too much discretion in the officials and how they call the game, because that was a high shoulder into the head of Dox Aiken.
Cole Boland for Loyola now serving that penalty. Ball deflected straight up in the air. Laviano giving chase. Keeps it in bounds. But the Greyhounds get possession and a really nice play in the corner. Now we'll get another flag. This one's going to go against Virginia. Olmsted looking for offense. Players running in and out of the substitution box. Could be a slash. We'll check on it when we get the whistle. Laviano is over there in the corner as the players were battling for the loose ball. We have a delayed call here against Virginia. Swindell just drops it temporarily, picks it back up. Olmsted working upfield. Back to his right. And he just loses the handle on this one. Here's the whistle. We'll get the call from the officials.
There's a penalty flag on the field.
Big call here with 1:21 left to go in the third quarter. Slash against Laviano. 1 minute call. So another man-up opportunity. Take a look here.
Well, that's a phantom slash there. I don't even know if he made contact. It was definitely blatant.
The look of it.
Looked bad, but not sure if contact was ever made on the play. But again, that's you're putting the officials in a position to have to make that call. And Virginia's now done that 3 times in this game where it has no impact.
You can even see him in the box now describing it to one of Virginia's assistants. How he feigned the hatchet chop, but didn't make contact. The official just didn't see it that way.
45.
Olmsted. Quickly, and a save by Rowe. That shot deflected. Patra. Nice play by Connors to snag it right out of the air. Virginia's gone 8 minutes without a goal. Now trying to kill this penalty and get back on even terms in the final 30 seconds of this third quarter. Laviano released out of the box, back to full strength. Here's Cormier. Moore. He'll have to put something together quickly. Saved by Schaefer, right at the horn. Keeps the deficit at 4 goals. Peyton Cormier continues with his impressive debut for the Cavaliers. The hat trick for him from his knees. But Loyola not going away. Olmsted scoring. And another to make it a 4-goal deficit. Entering the fourth quarter, 11-7, Virginia on top. As you can see Matt Moore, no surprise there. 3 goals and an assist for the veteran Virginia attackman. Peyton Cormier, though, a lot of fans here at Klockner were wondering what he would be like, the redshirt freshman. He's answering those questions. 3 goals himself, but Loyola, the team that beat Virginia to open the season last year, beat them in the playoffs in 2018, putting up a big fight.
And Loyola has to be excited about where they're at in this game. Win or lose, this is a young team, a new team. And for them right now to be going toe-to-toe with Virginia, yeah, it's 11-7, but shots are 20-20 on goal. They're out shooting Virginia by 10. They're facing off well. They're battling. They got to be happy. This is something they can build upon, win or lose.
Look at Petey LaSalle, that football mentality to pick up that ground ball. Laviano, saved by Schaefer. Quick outlet to McNulty. Ground ball picked up by the Greyhounds. Now Swindell.
This is a scrappy team. I mean, they are going at it with Virginia, who I would think most people would say is probably the scrappiest team. Last year they have much of the same team back, and they're beating them at their own game right now.
Kamish, a freshman on Fox, the veteran. Here's Swindell. He'll get his hands free and bounces just wide of the cage. Virginia scoring just 2 goals in that third quarter. Offense slowed down a bit. Damn, he is quick, isn't he?
He's a good-looking player. Big athlete, quick first step.
Slide comes. Trying to get to Lindley. We'll get a flag. This against Virginia. Cavaliers have spent a lot of time in the box here in the second half. Shot goes wide. Now we'll get the call. Another smash call against the Cavaliers.
This will be their 6th penalty in the game. And that's how you give a team hope, is give them possession after possession. Be on the man up.
This one goes against Jared Connors.
You would expect a team with as much experience as Virginia to be smarter than that.
Patra, the freshman Canadian, behind the net on this man up for the Greyhounds. Devereaux has 2 goals, number 21. Here's Patra. Here's Devereaux. He'll shoot, go right off the Fox. That had to hurt. But he's doing his job. Ball never got to the net. Now we'll get another call. This one again against Virginia. Loose ball, so possession to Loyola.
Another push in the back from Virginia.
Quickly. Saved by Rode. Lindley got a good look.
You have to say it right now. The difference in the game has been Rode. I mean, he has been lights out. 18 saves last year. Stover for Loyola had 18 saves. We got 1 period left to go, and Rode is at that number right now.
And Stover was the player of the game in that win last year for Loyola.
First team All-American.
Yeah, I think you have to agree that our MVP so far in this game, even though we've had a lot of scoring, has got to go to Rode. Kraus gets some space. Schaefer matches Rode with that save.
He's been very sharp throughout the game. He's now at double-digit saves as well.
8 seconds to clear. Greyhounds will get it done. Very entertaining lacrosse game as we are in the early moments of the 4th quarter. There were times when it looked like the Cavaliers were going to sprint out to a big advantage. And Loyola is just hanging in there. Virginia just 2 goals here in the second half. Man, I think to your point, they've spent a lot of time in the penalty box, and that's hurt them. Certainly has hurt their momentum. What a great play. Coming upfield was Olmstead, and another goal.
Olmstead, Loyola's best dodging attackman again. Second time today with that nice little stutter step at X, this time against Kaloji, number 16 for Virginia. Right here you can see it. Makes Kaloji take that drop step, then wraps it around his hip, screening the shot, beating Rode. 4-0 run for Loyola. We got a ball game, 11-8.
Savio and LaSala continue their battle. This one's going to be picked up by Jeff Connor.
But Loyola doing a nice job turning back Virginia. They now have to clear where they've been a little shaky.
10 seconds now to get it past the midfield line. Here's Matsui, the freshman. He'll get it to Fox.
And the big difference here is Loyola has gone to that zone defense. And since that period of time late in the first half, Virginia's scored only 2 goals. Again, a nice move early on. Zone offense is something that you have to build in and layer in the season. And Loyola threw it at him, and Virginia doesn't appear to have much prepared for that type of defense.
Cormier, Krause now behind the cage to Connor. Moore got it to Cormier, but draped all over him. While Loyola defenders, the turnover. Now here come the Greyhounds. Wires. Close defender stays on the offensive end to set a pick. And he's going to get called for the illegal pick.
Virginia now scoreless for 14 plus minutes.
Moore.
I wouldn't hate a timeout here if I'm Virginia on the offensive end to walk through their offensive set.
As our clock ticks down to 9 minutes left to go in this one.
And so they're bringing in Reagan Quinn, number 19, to be behind the cage. They like his vision as a feeder to pick apart this zone. This is another person that can break it. Dox Aiken with his outside shooting.
Nice play by Quinn to snag that ball out of the air. Aiken scores!
Nothing beats a zone and breaks a zone like outside shooting. Dox Aiken, a righty, but someone who can absolutely pepper it with his left hand as well. Steps in, and this is going to be a great angle. Watch him pull this towards the near post. Usually on that shot, you're trying to go far post, but he has the strength and the skill to pull it hard down towards the near post. Now again, what will happen? Will Loyola have to make adjustments and step out in the zone, opening up passing lanes? Typically from a zone defense perspective, if you can rip one from the outside, now you start thinking, do we have to extend out? That opens up passing lanes and makes the inside a little bit easier to attack.
Savio wins it cleanly to himself. Olmstead. The one stutter stepping. Brings it back out. Cavalier advantage now back up to 4. Here's Swindell. Behind Olmstead. Now up top. Patra.
Couple quick ball movements here, though, could get someone open for Loyola.
Tough pass, just through too much traffic.
Too soon. Too soon. They had Virginia scrambling. You have to make the easy pass off that initial dodge, and then you can look to pass.
Of course, Merle now brings it into the offensive zone for Virginia. Laviano will look to set up shop. That was a big turnover in this game. 4-goal advantage now with possession for the Cavaliers. Under 7.5 to play in this game. Aiken, who just scored moments ago. You have Quinn back on the field. You'll assume that spot back in X too, Matt.
And usually you have an attackman there, but with Virginia having Laviano and Krause and Moore being such great shooters, you want them in front of the cage.
Uses a Quinn screen.
And look, Loyola's back to man right now too, so this could be a good opportunity for Virginia. And here Cormier and Krause, assuming, going to do a two-man play here.
Cormier tried a little, we've
The
seen that a
second
few times. A little shovel pass, but Krause was able to get possession back, and it was a tough shot falling down.
And that play looks lackadaisical or lazy. It's not. He's an indoor player, so it's definitely more of a normal pass for him. But it's too high risk at this point in the game where possession just means too much.
Aiken. Defender gets his stick a little high. Moore deflected over the top.
What a save.
Busted on that one.
That was a great save. Schaefer, he is a big body, but he's quick. He looks very solid and confident in the cage.
Yeah, 6'3", 235 pounds. And, of course, his head coach, former great goaltender himself, relishes the opportunity to take a new goaltender under his wing and teach him his craft. And Schaefer is certainly making his coach proud today.
And just too much, in my opinion, for the zone offense here now that Virginia is playing too much standing around. They're not making it work, right? The whole idea is to get the defense to have to expand out and then make a couple passes and find the people in the interior. Virginia's just holding on to the ball way too much.
There's Cormier's in the middle.
And he's not moving. You have to cut. That's what you want if you're a Virginia offense. Dodge against the zone.
They're giving him a new shot clock here, too. New shot clock. And Coach Tui and that staff for Loyola unhappy about it. They're going to have to take it, though. They're down 4.
That did change.
12-8 our score. Virginia on top. 5:38 left to go in this game. Goaltenders have been great. You're just joining us, Alex Rode for Virginia. 18 saves in this game. If you remember last year's game, Jacob Stover made 18 saves for Loyola. He was the player of the game in that one. You could make an argument that Rode is the player of the game here. Faceoffs have been important, too, in Loyola. With Bailey Savio, they've come back here in the second half, and Virginia's thrown some other players at him. Gavin Ty, we've even seen Justin Schwenk in there for a draw. But Savio's not only held his own, but he's taken over.
And Virginia here, they're going to kill clock, and you can do that when a team's playing zone defense. They won't come out and play you. They're saying, hey, we're up 4 goals. We can kill a minute of time here. Trust our defense to make some stops, and Alex Rode in the cage.
Yeah. And Schaefer got a piece of that last shot right before he went to timeout from Moore, so
this will be a
fresh shot clock.
At least a 3-minute possession for the Cavaliers.
Still 40 to shoot.
Schaefer's had 2 saves, go out of bounds. And now Virginia will start to attack with about 30 seconds left in the shot clock.
Schaefer again,
Big save. I mean, he is impressive. He's matched low to low. He's gone high to high. That's a big-time shooter there in Doc Sakin.
Lindley just couldn't handle the pass. He had a really good opportunity. Push will keep possession. Shoots and give it back to Loyola.
Too many undisciplined pushes from Virginia, giving extra possessions.
Personal fouls against Virginia, too, in this game. A lot of loose ball calls going against them, giving possessions to this Greyhound team. It's going to be part of their comeback. Devereaux. Here's Olmstead. He's the quarterback of this Greyhound squad. Cox from that midfield spot. Here's Devereaux. Working on Merle.
Miscommunication here. Should be someone open on the backside.
Try to get it to Lindley. At the pipe. Here's Merle, though, coming out of the traffic with it. Fox. And now Matt Moore and company will look to take a little bit of air out of it. Once again, clock inside of 3.5.
And Loyola can't afford to play zone defense on this possession. They're going to have to come out of it. You can see they're out in man now.
Peyton Cormier, the redshirt freshman for Virginia. His debut was a hat trick. Will he get another one? Schaefer goes down to deny it.
But a nice take, but Schaefer, I mean, what a debut. His first career start. He has been lights out here in the second half. He's now up to 15 saves.
What a collision between Moore and Bennis.
They both went backwards on that. That was fun.
You knew Bennis had a full head of steam.
I think Moore's feeling that one a little bit. 2 big boys running into each other there. I mean, that was like those videos with the people in bubbles running into one another and both firing backwards.
Loyola's got to move with some purpose here. Olmsted fires. They'll keep possession, but just over 2 minutes to go. They're down 4. Patra coming on for the Greyhounds. He's got the ball in his cross here. Cross the way to Wigley. Not coming easy for Peter Swindell and the Greyhounds here. Now under 2 to play. Patra will fire lefty. Rode makes the save.
As good as game as Alex Rode has played, and that's saying something based on his performance in the NCAA tournament last year. You have a timeout here at some point if you're Virginia. You've got to get to the offensive.
Loyola with a shot. They got to move quickly. Just over a minute left in this game. They're down 4 goals.
That was a great job by number 34, Fox, realizing that Loyola was subbing and able to double team there.
Patra. Connors forces him behind the cage.
And Rode can be patient here. There's no reason to come out of your cage.
He does, and he pays for it. Wigley scores. Cutting the deficit to 3.
With time on your side, you would think, hey, I'm a goalie. Let them sit back there as long as you possibly can. When you come out of the cage, you're forcing the issue. That's if you're down, you do that. When you're up, be patient. One of the few mistakes Rhodes made today. But again, a nice job here. You see Rhodes out of position. A nice cut towards the cage. We've got a 3-goal game here with 42 seconds left.
Charlie Toomey with the pat on the head to Dan Wigley. Big draw here. Petey LaSala, Bailey Savio.
Virginia strategically has both of their wing players collapsing towards the defensive zone to prevent any type of fast break opportunity.
Collision between Merle and Savio. Ball kicked out of bounds. It'll go to Loyola.
It'll be a free clear here, really, for Loyola. UVA has not been. Oh wait, they're now releasing them from the box.
Greyhounds have to move quickly. Flag down. This one again is going to go against Virginia. Just 16.6 left. Virginia up 3. So it may be academic at this point, but you still have Coach Tiffany kind of throwing his arms up saying, we don't need that.
30 seconds.
I'd like to take a look at this one as well. They're going to call this a hold.
Just a stick too high right up
I mean, there were more slashes than they were holds or, up too high. There was a couple brushes that they let go. Some undisciplined lacrosse from the Cavaliers today. Any other game you have this many man downs, you don't have a hot goalie, they lose. It's against a good Loyola team that's been scrappy. But here's the story of the game. He's actually thrown some, a weakness in his game has always been his outlet passes. Today, not a ton of errors in that part either. 19 saves is pretty good.
Yeah, he's the MVP today for Virginia. I think to your point, lots for Lars Tiffany and company to work on here after this game. Good win, 1-0 on the year. Certainly better than 0-1, but some things to work on with a veteran team that comes in here defending national champs.
It's okay to be scrappy, but it's not okay to get careless penalties. And today, that's the story.
Devereaux passes on the shot. Pridemore can't get one off. Clock ticking down, now 3 seconds, and that'll do it. Virginia opens defense of their national title with a win at home against the Loyola Greyhounds. Exacting a little bit of revenge from last year when Loyola got the W.
A good performance for Loyola, something to build upon. This is a new team missing a piece from last year. And then Virginia, a good first half, a little sloppy and careless in the second. They have a lot of firepower.